Hey, welcome to the conversation. I'm Andy Mason, and you're listening to the Heaven and Business podcast, where we're navigating or helping you to navigate the messy intersection of faith, family, and business. And I want to give you the most successful key to consistent growth that I've come across. And here's the crazy thing. You can do this where you are, wherever you are in life, with whatever's going on. You can build this for yourself. And I'm going to give you some practical keys. But firstly, this is what it's all about. It's about authentic, consistent, and intentional community. Not people that just are casual friends, which I would say are people that show up typically just on a Sunday, at a Sunday service, or an event-based Christian. Whatever that is, event-based. This is someone that is intentionally in your life, walking with you, holding you accountable, not to just what's going wrong, not problem focused, but actually purpose focused. How can we help you grow? What are you called to? What is the one thing that, if solved, would change your world? Those kind of relationships are changing everything. When we had been in Redding, California for a period of years, one individual walked up to me and said, Andy, I have never done this with anybody before in my life, but would you be willing to meet on a regular basis? And from my perspective, I've been doing this, I don't know, I was doing this as an agricultural business consultant where we had discussion groups in New Zealand where I'm clueless, don't even know what I'm doing. We've got 24 business leaders going from farm to farm once a month, kicking tires, looking at grass, talking about animals and how we can improve production and growth. That's one thing to do it from a business perspective, and I've grown in that. But since 2020, we've been doing these groups where it's 100% Jesus focused, which means nothing is untouchable. Like, you're going to talk about your wife that way, we're going to challenge you on that. If there's something, there's no sacred cows. We can touch that. Secondly, nothing is unrepairable. I love that. With the power of Jesus at the center, nothing is untouchable. Nothing is unrepairable. And number two, it's all about business growth and increase in your workplace and your role in what's going on, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. How do we cause that, work with that, partner with that to increase? And then thirdly, it's you're 100% on your kingdom assignment. So I know that you and I are called to not just go to work, get a paycheck, and then launder that paycheck by giving money to a local church. There is so much more for you, especially the gifts, the talents, the abilities that you've gained by working in your job, by stewarding the resources that come through your hands. There is so much more. And so it's 100% Jesus-centered, 100% workplace focus to grow and favor, influence, profitability, business increase, and 100% kingdom alignment. What's my assignment? What's my purpose? How am I moving towards that? How can I leverage the platform that God has given me in this place to do what he wants, which is way more than writing out checks. That's what if the wisdom, the grace, the ability that I've got can be used all over the place. That's what we're seeing happen. So I want to tell you about this. It's the single most successful key. I've seen it again and again and again. It's the most fruitful and productive use of my time and talent. And we're literally training people how to do this. At the upcoming conference, we've got a whole half-day training just to equip people with this. So you can come and be a part of that. There's still room for you. Well, a couple of you. You can still get into that. But here's 3 stories. Now, I'm going to unpack a simple process that you can do right where you are without going to a conference, without signing up for anything. You can do this where you are. And then finally, I want to invite you into something that we're launching with our friend Shay Bynes. Excited about that. And she has been both a personal friend and one of the advisors for us. I don't just give advice. I've got people that I intentionally invite into my life to give us advice. Now, heads up, it's not always easy. It's challenging, but that's the kind of person that I want to have in my life that would ask me the questions that everybody else is afraid to ask. That's Shay. She's great like that for us. So firstly, 3 questions, or 3 actually testimonies of powerful testimonies of transformation that I've seen, not with people just hanging out together, but when they've jumped into either a one-on-one or in a small group of highly committed, intentional people seeking to help one another grow in their purpose, assignment, and calling. First one, I'm just going to read this to you. One individual stepped out of a corporate job, safe, comfortable, futures laid out, and they're trapped in the mundane. They stepped out of that to build their own company. And at the same time, they expanded a family. So launched a business, launched a family expansion, which that grows you on every side, at home and at work. And at the same time, their local church had a massive implosion. Senior leader, moral failure, took out half of the employed staff, pastoral staff. Just devastating, both morally, relationally, like every side. It's just so disruptive and so painful. And so this person stepped up, felt a conviction to help out. Well, it turns out the board was a mess. So they stepped onto the board, sorted that out. As they're launching a business, as they're growing in family, they step into this really, really vulnerable point and help navigate this church through employing a new pastor, through navigating the finances, the relationships, the staff. Firing your friends is always a very, very difficult thing to do. But there was no other way forward for this. Well, fast forward a year later, this same church we've been to, we got to personally experience this. It's experiencing a new pastor. He's a wonderful guy. It's pumping with vision, and there's a traffic jam of people trying to arrive on the Sunday service. I don't know about you, but I've seen so many churches, leaders, organizations, businesses, teams have either moral, relational, or financial failure at the top. I've never seen something turn around like this within 12 months and has gained or regained the momentum, if not exceeded it. But now they've learned so much through it. Powerful, powerful situation. How is that possible? Well, I was a part of some of those weekly calls that with a team of people around him that are intentionally, consistently, and authentically walking through this. What do I do when you don't know what to do? That is one of the keys to successful, intentional, consistent growth, having those people around you to help with that. Second testimony is an individual who broke free from years of porn addiction where they had tried everything. Here's the key phrase: on their own. They tried everything on their own to get free and hadn't done so. But they got into a one-on-one, intentional relationship, touching base on a daily basis, connecting intentionally and vulnerably with a group. Previously, they were part of groups, but not authentic, vulnerable, open. Actually, now they get real, get authentic, get to the bedrock. And what's happened over the last year with this person is they have grown so much so in leadership roles and in community influence that people close to them that don't know the other side of the story are asking, what's changed? What's changed about? What are you doing? What are you doing differently? What's happening with you? What's the key? It's just this so apparent to see this intentional. The desire was already there to grow, but it was the desire plus community, but not just any community, intentional, committed, going the same direction, that are committed to ask one another the powerful questions. How are you really doing? What's going on? Why are you holding back in that area? You could do this. So it's encouragement, it's powerful questions, it's accountability, and it's rapid acceleration and growth. But here's a third one. Another is at a particular age and stage in life where many would say, hey, slow down. You've done so much. Just cruise through. You're actually retirement age. You're more than qualified to retire. But they are expanding in wealth creation and kingdom assignment, and suddenly realized in the process, as they're expanding in kingdom assignment, expanding in influence, expanding in business, leaning in intentionally, learning new things, and then their depth of relationship with God is, like, over the last 4 years, has just gone deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, to the point that they suddenly realize some of the things, the head trash, the behaviors that have sabotaged or undermined growth and influence and success that they've wrestled with for decades, gone. How is that possible? Intentional, consistent, authentic community. And you can have this. So how could you practically build this for yourself? Number one, don't wait for someone else. So many of us are waiting for someone else to invite us into a group. Don't wait. If you're listening to this right now, look around. It's you. Look in the mirror. It's you. Don't wait. You start it. Step up, set the invitation for a small group of people you trust. It could be as simple as meeting twice a month over coffee or lunch. That's what I was doing in Redding, California. There were 4 of us. We would meet. We had a standing time to meet. It was lunch. It was this time end, this time start at the same location. And we're a bunch of guys that would just then ask one another the difficult questions. And food is always a great place to actually gather it around. When we started Heaven in Business, it was as simple as meeting over coffee, but not just meeting, being intentional, which takes me to number 2, be clear about the purpose. This is about real growth, not just casual conversation. Lead by example. Be intentionally vulnerable. What is your most powerful, most painful, and most humbling situation right now? And what one question, if answered, could change your world? I know with groups that sometimes they'll have a set time where beyond that, people are not changing, they're not growing. It's time to change the group. If you've got people around you that are like that, just say, thank you so much, but I just feel a conviction. It's time for me to change and grow, and I need to expand beyond what I'm doing right now. So make the call, make the change, and be intentional. Number 3, create accountability. Growth happens when we commit to showing up, being honest, and challenging each other. This is not a self-help, problem-focused therapy group, although I've got nothing against those groups. There's some wonderful, wonderful groups, but this is not what I'm talking about. This is holding one another accountable to the dreams and desires and God-given assignments to advance the kingdom and destroy the works of the devil. We're going somewhere. This is our goal, and it's increase. I'll send you away to get counseling, get help. Personally, we went to Restoring the Foundations just a couple of weeks ago, a whole week long of that, and it was brilliant. It actually exposed so much of my own head trash. Why? I didn't go there reactively to a problem. I go there proactively because I want to position myself for increase, because I'm really sensing that's open to us right now. Number 4, lock in the meeting before you leave. One simple habit can sustain a long-term momentum. Whether you're meeting a client, a group, or you're actually on a date with your favorite person, this is going to really help you. You're welcome. Gain agreement. When will you meet again? When will you do this again? Where will you meet? Before you even leave, if you'll write that down, lock it in your calendar. 1, you guarantee that it's going to happen. Number 2, well, if it's not, it's actually then rearranging a calendar appointment rather than setting one that just gets put off and put off and put off. But 2, you're actually shouting loudly in the most kind way. You are important to me. You're important to me. When can we do this again? So what I want to tell you about is, let's just give you an invitation to something that we're launching with a really good friend of ours, Shay Bynes. So this is another way. I've given you a bunch of stuff you can do for free. But if you say, I want to do that with a highly intentional group that are not just hanging out together and doing this intentionally, that's really good. But this will take it to the next level, because they're also going to commit time-wise and financially to actually have someone host and facilitate and lead that. And for this case, this is Shay Bynes. So as I said, I've been leading these since my early days as an agricultural business consultant in New Zealand. And these groups are unequivocally the most fruitful, productive, and enjoyable use of my time and talent. So I get to invite you to find out more and jump in on board with 6 people, with Shay Bynes leading, facilitating this. If you haven't heard of her, just jump onto some of the past podcast interviews with on our podcast with Shay Bynes. You can check out her books, Grace Over Grind, Doing Business God's Way. She's proven, she's a practitioner. She's navigated this with family, with business, with ministry, all wrapped in together. And plus, I can just personally vouch for this, because she's walked with us as we've grown Heaven in Business, as I've done consulting, advising in so many different things, plus being on national level groups and meetings with Shay. She's candid. She helps you grow. She's kingdom-centered, kingdom above everything, and she will help you grow. Better yet, you do that in a group with a bunch of others. So if you want to find out more, And jump onto heaveninbusiness.com/Shay Bynes. That's ShaeBynes. And you can see the link below. Regardless, make a commitment to find, build, and be intentional about authentic groups around you where you can grow together and be all God's called you to be, navigating the highs, the lows, the I don't knows. And I bless you with increase.